Hello, friends, strangers, whoever's watching, whatever is watching nowadays, reptilians, lizards, whatever they are. Hello. So, let's get started. Actually, I had a crazy dream recently, right after watching a video about how this lady was doing remote viewing, and she got into this space that was like a cave where the reptilians were, and then they recognized that she was there because they can see you when you're doing remote viewing apparently. And it was just super trippy. Anyway, it made me have like lucid dreams within lucid dreams, and it was just crazy. I kept thinking I was waking up from a dream and then just waking up into another dream. um and it was super trippy, and I don't know what was happening, but I think it was just my subconscious mind saying, like, ooh, you can do this. Anyway, so let's get started. Welcome to today's weekly reading. We're going to go through Monday through Sunday. And yeah, we're going to go and get into it. I already pulled the cards because I was just taking more time pulling the cards, but we're just going to continue reading. So, back of the deck energy, we have the Three of Pentacles. So, the Three of Pentacles is called the Architect card. And the reason for that is because there quite literally is a man who is the architect for this church, chapel, whatever you want to call it. And whenever we have the number three in any reading, in numerology, it stands for the number of creation. So we have the mother, the father that create the son. It's a number that's very expansive. So a lot of times we also talk about collaboration in terms of career or money or business. And so for that reason, this week is going to be very focused, as well as with these cards here that I pulled for the general, um, being the King of Pentacles in reverse and the Knight of Wands also in reverse. So it's about collaborating and co-creating. And when we talk about the King of Pentacles being in reverse and the Knight of Wands also being in reverse in relation to the Three of Pentacles, we're talking about a sense of fear or hesitation or doubt when it comes to asking or seeking help from someone or a source of knowledge, typically a man, because both knights and the king are male. But it could also just be you attempting or having to learn um, to embody these masculine energies. Career typically is more masculine energy because it's about money. It's not as feminine, although the Queen of Pentacles does relate to abundance, and also does the Nine of Pentacles, which talks about being like in your power and all about in your money and independence. So, anyway, let's get into it with Monday. So for Monday, we start out with the devil. Now, the devil is not as daunting and scary as it may seem. The devil always just represents our habits or things that are addictions to us, things that we're so accustomed to just being in this incessant cycle of repetition. So on Monday, we are becoming aware of those things, hopefully, because it is upright, we're learning to release them. When we move into Tuesday, it's like a sense of completion with the Ten of Cups. 10 reduces down to a 1. So we're feeling this new emotional sense of direction and also support, because clearly we see a family here happy and rejoicing in the fullest expression of their emotions. So Tuesday is very good when it comes to new beginnings emotionally. Um, so I really do see it as us moving away from this card, the 15th card, which reduces down to a 6, 6 being the number of Venus and harmony. Venus is currently in Taurus, so it is a very good placement when it comes to money matters, collectively, and also things that bring us pleasure, um, that are material, right? Because Taurus is an earth sign, it's a physical, material sign. So that's Monday, Tuesday. Now we move into Wednesday. Wednesday, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So we're feeling this sense of ambition and drive to achieve the things that we want to achieve materially, whether that's taking up a new class or course, or seeking a new path for ourselves when it comes to career, or an avenue that will bring us more money. So, and also too in our body, right? So this can also be interchangeably anything that's physical, okay? And with the Page of Pentacles, we see that we have ways to go, especially because it's in reverse. So there's like a little bit of fear, hesitation when it comes to starting things. And then we move into Thursday, which we have the Six of Cups. So on Thursday, someone's actually offering us help emotionally. It's very tied since it is the sixth card here of the cups to that devil. So someone's bringing us an opportunity to start something new, right? Because the other cups card that we have here is the 10 of cups, and one is the number of the 10. So with that, we have on Thursday someone bringing us an emotional opportunity and support to possibly help us manifest and create this reality that we're seeking, or this new venture that we're looking to initiate. And then we move into Friday. So Friday we have the Four of Pentacles. It's in reverse, and whenever the Four of Pentacles comes up, I always like to mention the heart chakra potentially being closed off. And when we talk about co-creating and seeking new avenues and looking for ways of support, when we have a blockage with our heart, it kind of makes us not want to accept that help. So on Friday, be mindful of how you can turn things around, right? Nothing here that I say is your fortune and your will. It is just a snapshot of the current energies collectively, and you can do with it what you wish. When it comes to the devil and the major arcana cards that I'll show here, that's a little different. Those are more like, we're most likely going to be dealing with this. So, yeah. Four of Pentacles in reverse. Be open to help and assistance in your heart, and also be mindful of how you're spending money on Friday. Don't fear spending money, but also don't overspend. And then, because four is a number of foundations, and if we're not being mindful with our money, we're not creating a solid foundation for ourselves to be able to create later on. So we need to have those bases covered before we can go and explore and create. And when we go into Saturday, we are in the energy of the Magician. So another major arcana card that we have here for the week. Ahead being the Magician, we're talking about knowing that we have all of the tools needed within ourselves and around us to support us in creating the reality that we want. This is a card of Mercury. So, Mercury being the merchant and also the communicator. This is telling us that there are all the tools readily available for us to go and start this new path. It is also the number one card in numerology of the major arcana, meaning initiating new beginnings, leadership, and taking that sense of bravery and ownership towards what we want to create. So, speaking on Saturday, we move into Sunday. And speaking on major arcana cards, we also have the four here, which is the Emperor. So, the Emperor talks about precisely that, being in your energy, in your power, knowing that you can create what you need to create because you're willing to go to war for it, and knowing that if you start in some certain direction and you keep going towards that goal, you're going to eventually manifest that. So don't be afraid to stand in your own power, to seek help, to be open to help, and to go for what you want, even if you don't know everything. You have the tools available for you to get to that place where you do feel like you're not an imposter syndrome or going through that sense. But I did want to also, before we wrap this up, add up the major arcana cards here. So we have the Magician, which is 1. We have the Devil, which is 15. So 15 reduces down to 6, plus 1 from the Magician is a 7. And then we have the Emperor. So 7 plus 4 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. So 11 reduces down to a 2. So the second card in the major arcana card is the High Priestess, which I want to grab, but we'll just we won't grab. So the High Priestess, what she represents is that deep intuitive knowledge, that occult knowledge. So don't be afraid to practice a little magic on the ways that you want to manifest something, whether that's assistance, whether that's letting go of those habits or addictions, or whether that is some sort of reality that you're seeking. And know that you have probably the tools within you emotionally and psychically to know what your next steps are. So that's the message for this week. I hope you have an amazing week. Feel free to book a reading with me if you would like, or to just like and subscribe because that helps me. And also on Instagram, you need 1,000 followers before you can actually go back to IG Live. So help. Thank you. Stay cute, stay blessed. Bye.